Applesauce is about one of the easiest things you can make. You can make it in the microwave, you can make it in the crock pot, you can make little bits on the stove, or you can make great big giant pots of stock in the stock pot. Today we're going to try to make applesauce with the skin on because you've got such teeny tiny apples here. These little apples would be great for making apple juice if you have a juicer. But we're going to try to make applesauce with the skin on and see how it works out, because the skin on these apples is tasty and the flesh is tasty. We'll see how it works. To make applesauce, ordinarily you would take a big, fresh, juicy cooking apple, quarter it, core it, and peel it. You can operate like this. Then, especially if the apples aren't sour, dip them in a mixture of either fruit fresh and water, follow the directions on the back, or lemon juice and water. About a tablespoon of lemon juice per quart, but you might want to experiment. Different apples brown differently. That'll keep the apples from browning. The longest you want an apple to be in fruit fresh, I think, is about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. If you leave it in too long, the fruit starts disintegrating. Applesauce can be made two ways. I really like whole applesauce better, when peeled, quartered, cooked. You put the sugar in before you start cooking, and that keeps the shape of the apple, and that's really tasty on waffles, pancakes in the morning. Otherwise, you put the sugar in after you're done cooking. For an extra special taste, throw a cinnamon stick in while you're cooking. See how the water comes just to the same level as the apples do. Here at this altitude, we're about 7,000 feet and in the desert. That's about the right amount of water to put in. You can see they're starting to get mushy and brown. That's just what you want. But it'll take some time to cook this all down. Cover it once it starts simmering and let it go. Let's take a peek under the cover and see what we see. I think we're having a problem here. Apple peels are full of pectin, and that's helping the apple to retain its shape. It's not cooking down the way it should. In my recipe I have, it says cook for 5 to 10 minutes. Now I've been cooking this long enough to clean the kitchen, a bathroom, sweep the floor, and serve lunch to my grandchildren. Obviously, apple peels make it go slower, but you can see the apples aren't quite mushy yet. They would be mushy enough to mash if they had no skins on. So we're going to just keep right on cooking this. Hey, you can see the apples are starting to break up, coming off the skin. You will have gotten to this stage a lot sooner than I have, especially if you took the skin off the apples. I took the cover off. If you live at low altitudes, have high humidity, leave the cover off the whole time. I'm going to let this simmer with the cover off now for a little while until the apples are all breaking up. You can see some of them are, and they're coming right off the skin just like that. And some of them are still kind of firm. About another hour, I guess. And then we'll finish the job. We are finally ready to do this. You can see the apples are crumbling right off their skins. We put about 7 or 8 quarts of apples, little teeny tiny apples, in this mess. And so we're going to put in close to 2 cups of sugar. I prefer using brown sugar. I like the taste better. Mash it with a potato masher, and hopefully, here it is, the cinnamon stick will come out. Best recipe on the planet says sugar to taste, and apples vary a great deal in sweetness. But you can see that as we stir, the apples are crushing. And it's getting to be look a little more like applesauce. And of course, if you didn't have the skins on, this would look a lot neater, a lot more like applesauce, a lot more quickly. You don't need to use quite as much white sugar as you do brown sugar. Now, if you wanted to, you could run all this through a food mill or a food processor, and that would chop the skins up. And you would get the flavor of the skins without the chunkiness. But we just wanted to make something a little different. I like the texture. We warmed up some quart jars in the canner, and I'll rewarm them again. One of the reasons why you want the quart jars warm is so that they don't break. You put hot things in cold jars, even if they're cold, clean jars, the jars will break. You want to make sure everything you're doing is done with clean tools, clean jars, clean water, clean pots, because whatever bacteria you have is going to multiply eventually. You want to get rid of as much as possible. Along with the jars, you put the lids and the rings in the pot to sterilize them. Boil for 10-15 minutes, something like that. You can clean them in a dishwasher if you have a dishwasher, and that will sterilize them, but keep them hot in the water until you're ready to use them. I think we're about there, don't you? You can still see the skins, but that's what we wanted to do. We want chunky cinnamon applesauce, we can call it. The skins taste kind of sour and add a little bit of bite to the applesauce, and I like it. Here the jars have been boiling away in the water. Now, until my daughter picked up the special tongs, this is what I used. Pull it out of the water, and you can see it's a pain in the neck to have to deal with. Jars are hot, water's hot. Put it on something that won't burn and is clean. I'll take some of the water, I'll put it in a bowl because the quart jars will take up more room